One of the most cunning adversaries Britain's pest controllers face is the bedbug. They may be small, but their bites cause great discomfort. Trouble is, they live on human blood. Today, Dagenham pest controller Pete isn't going to have any nonsense from these vampires.
All right, mate, pest control.
Pete is taken upstairs to the main bedroom where the tenants and their young baby have been sleeping.
So, where was your main problem?
Underneath the bed.
Yep,
on the top.
okay. Yep, along the seams. Just the natural places, yeah, where you're going to find them.
As ever, Pete has a plan.
What we're going to do, I'm going to collect them, as many as I can, and then I'll come in, kit up, and then we'll spray the whole room, okay for you. Okay. We'll crack on and see what we can get. Right, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate as many bed bugs as I can by collecting them with a bit of sellotape and putting them in a bag, then send them away, be incinerated. First, we've got to find them.
Pete needs to remove the mattress to take a closer look.
If you have a look here, you can actually see the actual blood spots where the bed bugs have been.
As in any battle, it helps to know your enemy.
The way they prey on people is through carbon dioxide. So when you're breathing out the carbon dioxide, that's how they transmit you and find you at night. So basically, this is the end of the bed. That is the head end of the bed. You're going to have more activity up the head end of the bed. Obviously, where they're going to be hidden all in these slats here. Once we undo some of these, you will see bed bugs in them.
After the mattress has been removed, hey presto, got one of the blighters.
So what I'm going to do is get a bit of sellotape now and collect these the best I can. And the easiest way is basically where they are, just literally put it on top of them and pick them up. I've asked him how much he's been bit, and it's more the baby being bit more than anything, which is obviously it's sweeter blood, believe it or not. The skin's softer, so they find it easier to penetrate to get the blood.
Pete has decided to take direct action straight away. He doesn't want the bugs to live any longer than necessary.
If you just spray them, it's going to take roughly 2 days, most probably, to kill them. Plus, they're going to bite the person tonight. So if we can collect as many as we can, it's less for them to get bit.
To carry out his plan, Pete has to dismantle the bed piece by piece. In Dagenham, pest controller Pete is battling the bed bugs. He's dismantled the bed so he can kill as many of the blighters as possible before he fumigates. Sticky tape is the secret weapon.
What I'm doing is going along and seeing the ones I can literally physically see.
He has to be vigilant. It's the tiny ones that pose the biggest problem.
The ones which are small are the ones basically have not fed on you and due for a feed. They can actually take 7 times their own body weight of blood a night.
A satisfyingly sticky end. Pete can now nip downstairs and get the insecticide to finish them all off.
What we're going to do is quickly go for a spray now, and hopefully that'll solve his problem.
A breath of air and a bit of sunshine.
I've been in the Seychelles, actually. As you can see the colour, nice and brown.
With sunnier climes brought to mind, Pete returns to the bedroom and spots a possible source of the infestation. They may have brought more back from their holidays than they bargained for.
This is always what I check. I asked anyone if they go on holiday, they all turn around and say no, no, no. It's been Dubai. Generally, they all come abroad on the luggage, and then they just stay in the fold, or they put them up in the clothes, they fold their clothes up, they put it in the suitcase, and then they brought them in.
Snug in his protective suit and mask, Pete can now fumigate the whole room with insecticide, which will remain active for some weeks. The room will be safe once the insecticide has dried. After spraying the whole room, Pete declares victory over the bed bugs.
That's Bella. No, I'm happy with that.
But he'll be back in 3 weeks' time to check that they really have been defeated. As we've seen in these programmes, a career as an environmental enforcement officer requires many skills and total dedication. In Grimsby, Enforcement Officer John Waite has a deserved reputation for zero tolerance.
Go away.
He's Sheriff of Grimsby, and he rather likes the idea of being more John Wayne than John Waite. Today, John has brought his posse to remove some unsightly wagons from a small homestead. Way out west, this kind of thing's been going on for years.
There's been a number of warnings about the state of the outside of the property. Some of these vehicles have been here for some 20 years or more. What we're here for today is to execute a warrant. He failed to comply with what was required, and that was to remove the vehicles. Unfortunately, it's not happened, so we are here, and as you can see, we are taking the vehicles.
But homeowner George doesn't quite see this as a stirring tale of the Wild West.
I don't agree with it. I think it's all wrong. I can't see as anything as harmful to anybody there. I've been dealt a dumb blow because there might be old vans, but they're all repairable. They could have given me another day and given me a chance, and there'd been no need for any of this.
The warrant clearly states we have to move the vehicles, so if...
John decides a shootout would not be appropriate. It's time, he thinks, for a bit of diplomacy. In Grimsby, Enforcement Officer John, that's to say, the Sheriff of Grimsby, has instructed his posse to bring some order to the land belonging to the homeowner George. He's failed to listen to the complaints of his neighbours or the council's warnings to clear the place. He's resisted, and he's not going to give up entirely without a fight.
I feel like kicking a man when he's down, is there?
No, I don't intend to do that.
No,
you know that we'll offer you every help and assistance that we can.
Yeah.
We've had promises over the years, and they've never been kept to, you know. So if I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, which I can't, there's nothing to say that in 2 or 3 days' time we're not back here revisiting the same situations. The various notices have been served on you, and this has now reached a point where it can no longer carry on.
George is now deep into his anecdotage.
A lot of it are tools. I mean, some of this stuff I've had since I left school. It's my hobby. It's like people go out drinking, I don't drink. People gamble, people go to football matches. It don't interest me. I like to tinker. I'm a tinker. It's my train set.
John may have a reputation for being tough, but he also understands how his actions can affect people.
What we want to do is not only please the masses, which I'm sure we're doing in this case, but it's the individual themselves. I mean, we are talking about an elderly gentleman here. By doing what we've done today, in many respects, we have disrupted his life, albeit for the right reasons and lawful reasons. But he is at least now seeing that it couldn't continue. And the private conversation I've just had would indicate that, and he really is a much happier person and glad that it's out of sight and out of his way. It's something he no longer has to worry about.
John has agreed that George can take back some of the smaller items from the council as long as he stores them out of sight. Diplomacy is working.
Now we've got something sorted, and I know that I can get the stuff back when I want it back.
John even offers to help out with the garden.
Well, we're getting there. Once we've completed this bit, we'll come back tomorrow and help George do his garden. Get it a bit tidier for him, weed it, make him proud of it.
But that's not an idea that appeals to George.
I don't like gardens. I'd sooner have it concrete.
George's property now looks fairly normal, so John can turn his attention to a neighbour's garden.
So them two are coming as well?
Yeah, because that's...
Right.
They're George's, but somehow they found their way into his neighbour's garden.
Okay.
It's been a better day than John expected. Peace, not war. Pretty good.
It's nice that George has finally accepted and seems to be a much happier man than when we first saw him a few hours ago. And I would think his neighbour's going to be pretty pleased that he's going to get part of his garden back again. Cheers, George.
And no hard feelings.
All right.
Go on, give me an
George.
handshake.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
All right.